making sure that I completely exhale before I make any reaction. Greetings guys, Si here and welcome back to Projectleft. And I'm going to try something out I watched in a video while I was away on holiday. So Scott Fawcett, some of you may know him, but he's developed an aiming system called Decade and produces content around that system. And he released a really interesting video that I watched while I was away on holiday about Tiger Woods at the Masters and how it almost looked like he was meditating his way through the last round. And that's what I'm going to test out today. Tiger Woods looked like he was just meditating his way through those last few holes on Sunday at Augusta. He looked very, very level. He didn't get very excited, didn't get very down, just went about his business. And that's something that I can certainly learn from and test to see if it actually improves my golf. I know that I use a lot of emotion when I play golf, as I do in a lot of areas of my life. And I want to try and see if by being a little calmer, a little more passive throughout the decision-making process, the execution and the reaction phases in my golf game, just to see if it makes me play any better. There certainly isn't any harm in trying. So while I was away, I did some research and I've been reading some books and some journals and some articles and some videos about meditation and how to stay calm. I've left a few links below, along with the link to Scott Fawcett's Decade video on Tiger Woods. So after you've watched this, give that a go. But it's now 5:30. I need to hit a few balls before we go out because I haven't played while I was away on holiday. So hopefully this all goes well. See you in a bit.
Do you find yourself under the weight? You're just wishing you could clean the slate, like you're tumbling and you won't slow down.
Yeah.
Do you feel like all you do is wait, and you're helpless in the hands of fate, like you lost your way and can't get found? But did you know you shine, and I'm falling for the way you smile? You're gonna take the fight now, punch the lights out, 'cause you're the champion, you are. Champion, you are. When you're on the edge, you're fading fast. Let the future light up your path.
So 3 holes in and 2 bogeys and 1 par. So close to a birdie there on 3. Really happy to reach the green in 2. All to play for. And I'm loving this mental sort of calmness that I'm having. So let's keep going.
Gonna take the fight now, punch the lights out, 'cause you're the champion, you are. So never fall in line, you just gotta do it mile by mile. You're gonna take the fight now, punch the lights out.
Okay, so 7 holes in and really annoying there on the 6th. Got distracted, lost my focus and hit a poor shot which led to a blob there. So 2 pars on 4 and 5, which was brilliant. Feels so good about having this nice calming mental routine. More about that at the end of the round. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how this finishes, because so far I've had 3 pars, 2 bogeys and 1 blob. So I'm still 1 under handicap with 3 holes to go at this front 9. So let's keep going.
Champion, you are. But did you know you shine, and I'm falling for the way you smile? You're gonna take the fight now, punch the lights out, 'cause you're the champion, you are.
Oh, you're kidding me, don't drop, no way! Oh, I did, I was recording it, just not at the right angle. Ah, look at that! It still might go in. Right, there we have it, my best ever 9 holes, and a lot of it, a huge part of it, has got to be down to doing that new mental routine, slightly more passive and calm throughout the process. We'll talk about that in a minute. Let's quickly go through the stats first though. So 6 pars in 9 holes is a record. That just shows me the potential that's in there. I also had 2 single bogeys, and then 1 hole where I lost my second shot. I pulled it right into the trees, and because of the time constraints, didn't have time to go back and hit another one, so put that down as a blob. Potentially could have got a double bogey if I'd gone back and made that 6, but that's what happens. I was under time pressures. We had to get round the golf course because I had to open the shop at 7:30, and therefore didn't have time to go back and hit another shot. But these are things that happen on the golf course, aren't they? So in terms of the stats, let's quickly look through those. And remember, I'm doing this strokes gained against the 10 handicapper. 2.18 strokes gained off the tee. Now, that is hugely down to Le Cut National, which was working superbly out there for me today, and meant that I found a lot of fairways, which put me in good opportunities to hit the greens. I then lost 2.5 shots approaching the green, so that's kind of anything over 100 yards when I've got a chance to hit the green, and that's kind of where I expect to be at the moment. I'm not going to hit all the greens. I then gained 2.92 strokes on strokes gained approaching, so chipping and pitching inside 100 yards, and that was 2 superb up and downs, first of all on the 7th hole and secondly on the 8th hole, which saved my pars. And I gained 2.96 on putting because I had those 2-1 putts where I got up and down for pars, and I also got down in 2 on a couple of holes where I was a long way away from the hole. So again, against the benchmark for 10 handicapper, I gained those shots. So you can see there that it's still those shots into the green that I need to improve on, and that is kind of indicative of where we are. Now, Le Cut National, I'm going to do a complete video on that, technical breakdown of how I play that shot, because I think it's something that we can all learn from. If you have an ability to get a ball in play off the tee, even if you sacrifice quite a lot of distance, it really can be an advantage. I'm going to talk through that in another video. So today's process was trying to build a more passive, calm approach throughout the process of hitting a shot, and I use breathing for that. Now, I've done yoga in the past and continue to practice it, probably not as often as I should do, but I still know the basics of yoga and the breathing and how you can use it for relaxation. I've also read, as I said in the intro, quite a few articles and journals while I was away on holiday on the breathing aspect. And what I've done is I've used the in and the out breath at specific points in my pre-shot routine to help me get in the best place possible to hit the shot. So let's quickly go through one of my routines. Okay, so here is a pre-shot routine from the 4th hole. I'm hitting a hybrid over the trees into the green, and you can see, we'll talk you through my process here. So I do my waggles and everything, get myself ready, stand behind the ball and have an in and an out breath to pick my target. On the out breath, I walk forwards, take another in breath and out breath to set up to the small target in front of me. Then I take a large in breath, almost taking in the target, an out breath, a last in breath, make the swing, and then I breathe out as I hit the ball and as I go through the ball, making sure that I completely exhale before I make any reaction. And that is really important to state that part there, because it's that first initial reaction that often wastes energy, often puts us into a bad place mentally, and what's going to take us forward to the next shot. So specifically using an in-breath and an out-breath to put me in specific positions during my routine. So an in-breath and out-breath to take in my target behind the ball, to pick out that spot just in front, that I'm then going to walk round using another in and out breath and set my club up to that intermediary point, which is so important. So that gets my aiming sorted. I then take one last look in the target with a huge in breath, almost breathing in that target. Then an out breath, back with head down looking at the ball, a last in breath, then make the swing, and as I hit the ball and as I come into my downswing and impact, I'm breathing out and making sure I complete the swing with a full out breath, and I make no reaction until after that out breath is complete. That means that I am fully engaged and fully committed into that process of the swing, and I make no reaction until after that ball has long gone. So if you see Professor Peter's The Chimp Mentality, an absolutely amazing book. Thanks, Ben, for recommending that. I've read some bits of it, and I'm definitely going to read more of it going forwards. And it's that talking about that instant reaction that we have, you know, trying to, that sort of banging the drum when we get really angry, trying to sort of learn to curb that. And that's where I'm using that out breath as I hit the ball to make sure that I make no reaction until after that out breath is complete. Also, in a previous life, I played pretty high standard tennis. And if you know anything about tennis players, they all breathe out and exhale as they make the motion, as they hit the ball. Oftentimes they use it as a grunt and you really physically hear it, but certainly they're exhaling as they're hitting through the ball to make sure that they commit to the stroke they're playing, to make sure they finish the shot. Oftentimes they use it for gamesmanship. I'm fully aware of that. And in a head-to-head sport like tennis, that's absolutely fine. If it's within the rules, yeah, go for it. But it's that physical being able to let go and hit the shot and commit to it. Oftentimes as amateurs, which of course I am left-handed, we see many, many problems. So hopefully that explains a little bit about the routine. I'm certainly going to use that going forward, and we're definitely going to have more conversations as this kind of breathing and relaxation pre-shot routine kind of develops as my game develops going forward. So I'm definitely going to keep using it. I've got another game early with Ben next week, so stay tuned for that. We'll talk a bit more through my breathing, but we're going to talk in detail about Le Cup National. So make sure you stay tuned next week for that. So as always, this was another episode of Project Left. My name is Simon, and we'll see you down here on PGA Live 365 very, very soon. Oh, before we go, remember, thumbs up button. Hit that thumbs up button. It'll be just down there. There'll also be a subscribe button. That'll be down the bottom. If you click that, you'll get all of our content released as soon as we make it, edit it, upload it, get it to YouTube, publish it, and you'll know as soon as we do that. So, don't think there's anything else left to say, apart from shoo!